Church, Psalm 82 is a psalm that reveals to the church exactly what our mandate should be. It actually confirms Jesus' declaration of his mission statement, which was we find over in Luke's gospel, the 4th chapter, verse 18, when he said, "The Spirit of the Lord is upon me because he's anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor." A careful reading of that context of that verse, which ends with him declaring the year of Jubilee. 95% of that particular passage of scripture deals with the economic aspect of the life of individuals. And this Psalm 82 speaks to the church. First verse speaks to the God standeth in the congregation of the mighty. He judges amongst the gods. This is speaking specifically of the church. And he questions them. He says, how long will you judge unjustly and accept the persons of the wicked? Selah. But then he begins to give the instructions to what we're supposed to do. Defend the poor, right, and fatherless. Do justice to the afflicted and the poor. That word poor there is actually, the word needy there actually speaks to the economically oppressed. It says, deliver the poor and the economically oppressed. Rid them out of the hand of the wicked. It gives us specific details to what our mission should be as a church in general. Generally speaking, I know each individual ministry might have a particular niche that it focuses on. The reason this particular verse came up to me as I was in a conversation, and in the heightened awareness of the social injustice that has prevailed throughout the history of America for the last 400 years, it is at a place now where, not only is Black America in an uproar about it, but you have a sector and certain aspects of white America, Generation Z and some of the millennials are now, demanding that, they bring an end to this racial discrimination and economic oppression that's been taking place against Black America for generations to come. Well, I was in a conversation with a white man who happens to be an associate of mine. And he represented both the white America, and the white American church perspective. He's a believer who happens to be white. And he said that there was a sense that he wanted to do something. He didn't know what it was. He couldn't put his finger on it. But me being a Black man, me being a believer that's Black, and he said, what do I do? And immediately this scripture came to mind, Psalm 82. You should be doing what the church should have been doing, specifically speaking, the white American sector of the church should have been doing, or should be a part of the mission in doing from its inception. And that's defending those who are economically oppressed, standing up for and being sure that any economical person, and we're speaking specifically of slavery and Black America now, is defending them, fighting for them, standing up against our government, standing up against the oppressive forces within our society, and say, we will not stand for this as a church. We will not stand for this. Now, we're speaking from two perspectives, the church perspective, but then just in general, if you're not a believer, just white America, you should be standing up for the rights of the fatherless and those who've been economically oppressed. This is just a beginning of what I really believe the will of God is when it comes to the church in America and the stance the church should take against the economic oppression and what should be done. What should be done in our society. I know there's a lot of people who are from white America who has a sense that there's something that they should be doing. Well, what we should be doing and what you should be doing is joining the voices and the fight for Black America to be relieved of the economic oppression, to be given access to the resources that lead to, I'm talking about generational wealth creation. It is very important that as a church we understand this. We're supposed to be the salt, the leaders, the light. And so when asked by a white man that happens to be a believer, what is that it can do? Psalm 82 is stand up for those who've been economically discriminated against, and use your voice and use your vote and use your resources to help them overcome poverty, because poverty is the issue. Poverty is the bottom line to a lot of the suffering that's taking place in Black America. If we can relieve the poverty, if we can do something to build the wealth and the economy of Black America, then you'll do away with a lot of the perils of the poverty that Black America has to deal with. This is the answer to what can be done, or what should we do, or I want to do something for white America and the white American church.